Hello everybody, I'm Bill.
I'm Damien.
And today we are going to do an install on this 66 C10 of all of our brand new C10 stuff that we just released. This truck belongs to a guy out of Colorado named Seth Rosa. It sounded like a perfect combination of our excellent handling product on his nice original truck. So basically at stock ride height now, and we're gonna get started installing everything.
So we're gonna go ahead and install upper and lower control arms, coilovers, front and rear, our new truck arm suspension, and then front and rear sway bars on the truck as well. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the front end. We're doing this on the floor to show you how easy it is. And we know most people are working on the floor in their home garage, and not everybody has access to a lift. So we're gonna go ahead and get the front end stripped down.
Here's a quick look of what we're putting in here. We've got a front sway bar, upper control arms, lower control arms, and your front coilover shock. And some of the neat stuff is like these control arms have our low friction ball joints built right into them. So if you ever have to replace your ball joint, you just take this apart. You don't have to press anything in or out, or you just take this apart, pop in a new stud, and away you go. And that's both on the upper and the lower control arm. The sway bar is going to mount into basically the factory location that a sway bar would if your truck came equipped with one. Damien's already working on getting the old stuff out. Getting the old stuff out is really what shows you how to put the new stuff in. This stuff goes in way easier than the old stuff comes out. So don't be discouraged if it takes you a little bit to get your 50-year-old truck apart, because putting the new parts on takes a fraction of the time. So I'm gonna go give Damien a hand.
Right now I'm working on getting the bolts out of the Crossmember so I can take this upper mount off for the control arm and replace that with the coilover bracket. So there's 4 bolts that go through the frame rail. The upper 2 have nuts, and then the bottom 2, they're just threaded into the plate.
Bill, how are you coming? Oh, pretty good. I'm not as far as Damien. I'm doing it with ratchets and wrenches. And Damien's done this a lot more than me. Just got all the control arms and everything out of the way. And now this bracket right here has to come off for the coilover kit. And to do that, I had to dig all of the old crap out of here, which it was literally completely smooth. So when you're looking at your truck and you're like, there's no bolts or rivets, they're there. You just have to dig through the crud. Lower bolts here and here, upper bolts here and here that hold the bracket to the frame. And then if you can get in there, there's a rivet here and a rivet here. And then on this side, there's also rivets, but I haven't uncovered them out of the gunk yet. It is not uncommon for this to be essentially sprung. So when you take this off, it might go boing. It's the nature of working on an old truck. So now these pesky rivets. Hey, I should cover up this brake line. Glove me. Cover up the brake line. So what I'm gonna do is cut an X into those rivets. So one that way, one that way. And then you come back with a chisel and you can chisel off the top of it and then pound it through with another punch. So plan your X first. Sparks are gonna come at you. Now, I need a hammer and a chisel. Hammer me. Chisel me. Sharp chisels are a good thing. This one is not.
Bill, you want me to try that?
Huh?
Let me give you a hand with that.
Oh yeah.
So you can do it Bill's way, or you can use a good air chisel.
Now he switches to a punch tool rather than a chisel tool. Boom! Yeah, that works a lot better than this method. But this method does work. If you don't have a sweet air hammer like Damien's got, this method will get it done, but it's gonna take you a while. Okay, so we marked out really nicely where the hole in the bracket, the upper coilover bracket is. This is what we need to cut out so that there's room for the shock to pass through. So you can do it a variety of methods. We're gonna do it here with a die grinder and a cutoff wheel. But if you had a plasma cutter or a oxyacetylene torch that you were fairly proficient in, you can use that as well. So, I don't know, it's gonna get loud.
So you could use a cutoff wheel. If you got a buddy that's got a torch or a plasma cutter, buy him a case of beer, have him come over and give you a hand. A little bit of cleanup on that side. Be ready to bolt the bracket up. Upper control arm mounts are right and left hand specific. So got that one set in there. It's set flat, ready to bolt it on. Now on the crossmember bolts, we are likely going to have to drill a hole or run a drill bit through here and get these cleaned up. There can be a little bit of misalignment with the crossmember and the frame rail, so that's why we want to do that.
I am preparing the spindles to get ready to put on the truck. We just got all of the control arms, the upper control arm mounts and everything off of the truck that we're working on. They don't have disc brake spindles, so that requires you to go to disc brakes, which is what we've got here and here.
One thing to take a look at when you're cleaning these saddles up for the cross shaft to sit in, there's a dowel on the front of these trucks that locates the lower control arm. You want to make sure that that thing is not sheared off, make sure it's clean and in good shape. One of the trucks that we had in here for R&D actually had this locating dowel half sheared off.
We're just cleaning all that stuff up and then we'll throw the control arms on.
Bill, you got that wire brush?
Yep. Wire brush, make sure you got lots of them. We're going to put the lower control arms on here, and one thing to be aware of, you've got a knob here that's going to index into a knob coming out of the frame, and when you're tightening the U-bolts for this, make sure you're drawing it in evenly, kind of side to side, because if you were to just draw it all in on one side, you'll pull it crooked and you can fail, and you don't want to do that. Your frame may or may not have the holes for the sway bar mounts. If you don't, the easiest way to locate them is to mount the end links to the bar and also to the control arms, and then swing the sway bar with the mounts attached up to the frame, and the contour of the brackets will match the frame where they go.